If you spent any time on the Division 1, you may recall a gear set called Predator's Mark, which applied bleed to any enemy you shot, taking your TTK to new heights. What if I told you you could have a similar build in the Division 2, but also give this buff to your allies on your team as well? Mako's Buck here, and today let's go over an ongoing directive build that will have you ripping through content. Kicking it off with our gear set, and as already mentioned, that is going to be 4 pieces of the ongoing directive gear set. 2 pieces of OD grants plus 15% status effect damage, which directly buffs the bleed you apply to an enemy. 3 pieces of OD will grant plus 30% to your reload speed, and 4 pieces of OD grants rules of engagement. Shooting a status affected enemy will apply a mark. Killing a marked enemy grants a full clip of hollow point ammo for your active weapon and half a clip of hollow point ammo to your allies. Hollow point ammo amplifies your weapon damage by 20% and applies bleed on hit. The 4 slots we will be using for ongoing directive are going to be the chest, which comes with the talent Parabellum rounds, which buffs hollow point ammo weapon damage to 50% but does not apply to party members. The other 3 OD slots are going to be the holster, knee pads, and gloves, and you will want them rolled as full red with weapon damage being your core and crit damage being your attribute. Our mask is going to be the exotic Coyote's Mask so that we can take advantage of the perk Pack Instincts, which buffs ours and our allies' crit chance and crit damage depending on the distance of the last enemy you hit. And lastly, the backpack can either be the Ceska backpack for an increase of 8% crit chance from the 1-piece Ceska bonus, or you can go with the Sokolov backpack for a 10% increase to SMG damage. Whichever backpack brand you go with, we will be tossing the talent Wicked on it, as this increases total weapon damage by 18% whenever you apply a status effect to an enemy and lasts for 20 seconds. Our bleed is obviously a status effect, so we will have a 100% uptime on this talent. Our mask and backpack will also be rolled full red, with weapon damage being our core and crit damage and crit chance being our attributes. We will be modding our mask, chest, and backpack for all crit damage, as we have a goal of 50% overall crit chance and 160% crit damage. Now that our gear is set up, let's move on to our weapons. Our primary is going to be the converted SMG-9 or the converted SMG-9A2. The difference in the 2 weapons is that the A2 has a lower base weapon damage but allows for an underbarrel attachment, where the regular SMG-9 has a higher base damage but 1 less attachment. You will want to have the weapon talent Sadist on your SMG, which amplifies weapon damage by 30% to bleeding enemies. It also applies bleed to the next enemy you hit after 4 kills, but we won't need to rely on that. You will want to mod your SMG with the extended mag for plus 20 magazine size at the cost of reload speed, and I have on the flash hider muzzle for plus 10% to crit damage to hit that goal of 50% crit chance and 160% crit damage. I also went with the plus 12% to weapon handling reflex sight, as this directly helps with accuracy, stability, and reload speed. Your secondary weapon is preference depending on playstyle. I'm using the exotic shotgun Scorpio as a backup status application option in case something gets messed up. You could also use any 800 plus RPM AR or rifle with Sadist. Whichever weapon combination you choose, you will want to make sure they are all rolled for damage to target out of cover, as it is best in slot. You will have 2 options for your specialization. If you are on the newer side or just getting back into the game, I would suggest going with the gunner spec, as this will give you armor on kill, which is nice to have, especially since we will not be using a reviver hive as one of our skills. The more damage, more experienced option is to use the Firewall specialization. Whichever specialization you choose, you will want to spec into the submachine gun damage node and match your other weapon damage buff node to the secondary weapon type you choose. I'm using the Scorpio shotgun, so I spec'd into the shotgun damage node. Our skills for this build are going to be the Riot Foam Chem Launcher, as this is one of the quickest ways to apply a status effect while also providing great crowd control. You would utilize this skill to initially proc your hollow point ammo buff, shoot the enemy with foam, get the kill on them, then you will have your bleed rounds indefinitely. Your other skill will be a shield. The type of shield will depend on the specialization you chose. If you are on Gunner, you will go with the Crusader shield, and if you are on Firewall, you will go with the Striker shield, as this amplifies weapon damage depending on the amount of enemies in front of your shield. Any allies behind you will also benefit from this buff. Just to go back over all of the pieces of the build and toss an image of the full build on the screen, you will be going with 4 pieces of the ongoing Directive gear set, the Coyote Mask, and a Ceska or Sokolov backpack with Wicked. You will be pairing this with a Sadist rolled SMG-9 or SMG-9A2 and the Scorpio exotic shotgun or a Sadist rolled AR or rifle. As always, I will toss a written out format of the build in the description of the video below. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. See you next time.